Hello, my lovely students. My name is Mary Glasspole, and I'm your English language tutor for this lesson. Today, we're going to continue looking at a 13 plus sample exam paper, which is based on a book by Susan Hill called The Woman in Black. Now, I've already made 4 videos covering questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you'd like to go back to my YouTube channel and catch up on those, then I suggest doing that. Today's lesson is going to cover question number 5, which talks about what impression of something is created. And when we did the video on question number 3, we looked at what impression actually means. And we decided that impression means what thoughts and feelings does the reader get from looking at that particular part of the text. So let's go over to that exam paper now, and I'll give you a chance to answer it for yourself. Here we are at the question paper, and as you can see, it asks you to analyse lines 100 to 167. So it's quite a big part of the text. And how does the writer use language to create an unsettling impression of Eel Marsh? Now, it's worth 6 marks. So I would strongly suggest using the PED method, point, example, explain, develop. If you can do that twice, that will give you 8 marks, which is more than you need. So that should be plenty to answer the exam question. We've talked about the fact that impression means what thoughts and feelings are created by this part of the source. And the most important thing now is to pick out your language techniques. So let's go over to the source, and I will give you an opportunity to read it and to answer for yourself. You can pause this video at any time, and I'll put the exam source and the exam paper into the link into the description of this video. So if you go there, you'll be able to find a link to my website where you can download or print the exam source and the exam paper. It's quite a large part of the source that you need to analyse for this, and so I will go over to the next page in a moment. All right, take 6 minutes to answer the question and come back to me when you've done it, and we'll go through a worked answer. All right, here we are at the part of the text that I decided to analyse. And what I wanted to do was to pick up on lines 148, where you have the wind came suddenly snaking off the estuary. And so you've got lots of figurative language here that you could analyse. For example, you could talk about the connotations of the word snake. Now, we tend to associate snakes with wickedness, with Adam and Eve being tempted in the Garden of Eden, and the fall of man. So you could talk about that. You could talk about sibilance and the suddenly snaking, which creates a sort of sinister, whispery effect. That would be a good thing to do. Or we could talk about the metaphor itself and the suddenly snaking. So you've got quite a lot of choice about what you could write about for this part of the text. Another thing you could do is to talk about how the wind comes suddenly. It suddenly snakes off the estuary. So this is quite unnerving because you can't predict what the wind is going to do. All right, let's go over to look at a worked answer, and I'll see you there. The first thing I've done is to just jot down some synonyms to the word unsettling: unnerving, eerie, and ominous. And it's strongly suggested that you use those in your answer. so that you can demonstrate your ability to use high-level vocabulary. All right, let's come over to the sample answer. And the first thing I did was to pick up on the phrase where you've got the wind suddenly snaking. And I've said that it creates an eerie atmosphere. Why? Because the wind is abrupt. Abrupt means sudden. And so you've got these unpredictable marshes where the weather is changing constantly and you never quite know what it's going to do. So you could talk about that. You could, as we said, talk about the use of sibilants, the repetition of the letter S, and the whispering effect. And because this is a ghost story, that's highly significant because it draws the reader in and creates a very unsettling setting for the ghost story. Then I've talked about the metaphor and how the metaphor is unnerving because we associate snakes with evil, temptation and downfall. And this makes the reader concerned for the safety of the protagonist. And that makes a nice little conclusion at the end, because essentially the reader is trying to make us worried about the narrator. Protagonist basically is the main character, the good main character, whereas antagonist is obviously the bad main character. I hope you found this video useful. And if you are about to take the 13+ exam, or you've just taken it and you're waiting for your results, then I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you good luck. I hope all goes well and that you get the results that you're looking for. My name is Mary Glasspole, and I do hope that you will join me in the next video. Goodbye.